stream, but I don't know, man. Hey,
Yeah, we'll figure
we're
it out.
here.
Probably. At
We're
least
here.
you are.
This for the first time ever. Technically, this is take two. All right,
Yeah?
so because we thought we had some weird stuff going on. We still don't know if we have weird stuff going on. I guess we'll find out when we're done here.
Yeah, I know.
So if you guys are hearing this, things went fine.
Yeah.
So
Yep. Exactly.
welcome,
New,
Tyler.
new background, like I promised. You can
Yeah.
see some of my prize figures back here. A little bit of
Yep.
Stone Cold Steve Austin action over here.
Same
I'm pretty
background.
sure everybody got sick of looking at that door behind me.
Same background for me.
Yeah.
Same wall. I'm just a little further up because I'm being lazy tonight. So
Mhm.
I'm sitting. So
It's
um,
Wednesday or something.
Tuesday. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's late. We're doing this late. So I guess we can really kind of call this like a special episode, right? A special pre episode
Yeah.
of
Yeah. I
our
would
big
say
weekend.
this is definitely us preparing for WrestleMania week. So the
Yeah,
reviews
a little
on
warm up.
Raw and SmackDown, they're going to be extremely quick because anybody
Yep.
watching this definitely watched Raw and definitely watched SmackDown. You don't need us
Yep.
to tell you what happened. I got a few
We're a
interesting
Raw
news
behind.
stories. Yeah. Yeah, and we're a whole
So
Raw later now.
yeah.
So really, what's the point?
Yeah, but it's all right. We'll run through it because that's what we do. But
Yeah.
we got a little bit of news and we got a kind of a cool little rundown. I like to say in honor of heel Cena. We're going to talk about our top five favorite heel runs and our least five uh, bottom five heel runs
Yeah.
of all time. So
You're going to hate a couple of mine.
I know for a fact, 9,000 kajillion percent, that I'm going to get hate mail for one of mine. So, and that's okay with me. I got a shot for you guys. We're gonna do Jägermeister. Why? Because I was an idiot and bought a 6-pack of them.
Oh
So
my God.
here we are again. hmm
I'll stick with
That's
the
disgusting.
pre-beer beer.
You know what's worse than that though? I went to Costco. Shout out Kirkland. Um, they got these vodka sodas here, right?
Okay.
And and they got pineapple, peach, and watermelon. And this watermelon is absolute trash. So the other two are good. They're okay. Yeah, they're pretty decent. This watermelon, it tastes like a watered down watermelon. Like that's what like they were trying to make me think I was eating a watermelon, and I don't want that.
Is it like
So
all natural watermelon flavor, not the artificial?
yeah, yeah. And
Gross.
and I'm like I like my watermelon to not taste like watermelon when
Yeah. No,
when I eat my
exactly. Me too.
candy. So I like to eat my watermelon and then my candy to taste like whatever the hell that flavor is, but it's not
Yeah.
watermelon.
No
So,
thanks.
but anyway,
I
so
will throw it
I
at
double punched it.
everybody. Four Faces of
Mm,
Foley.
yeah,
Keeping the.
I like that.
Thank you. I've had it for like 3
I like
years.
that one. Yeah, I like that one. I had a shirt planned for today. It's one that I had mentioned a while back, and I had it all ready to go. And then I don't know what happened to the actual vinyl part, so I have to remake that. So I'll probably wear it sometime during WrestleMania weekend.
There we
And
go.
good news is I got some shirts coming out soon to people. I got to get them in the mail. So
All right. Nice. All right. So, do you want to start with Raw of last week?
yeah, yeah, sure, yeah.
Just the results.
Yep. So we're just going through that really quick. One that is kind of relevant right now, though, is that Rhea Ripley was added to the women's title match that night. So obviously we've seen how that's played out since then, but
And we called it weeks ago.
weeks ago, weeks ago. I mean, that was one of those like, here's what
Again,
we're gonna do. Yeah, we're just gonna put it on there for you.
it was a land.
Lyra defeated Bailey in that intercontinental women's intercontinental match, and that was a really good match.
It
I
was
really enjoyed
good.
that match.
It was.
Yeah.
And we'll
Um,
talk more about Lyra and Bailey once we get to SmackDown because this was a
for
shocker.
sure. For sure. But that was a really good match. And then another amazing match, in my opinion, I think most people would agree, would be El Grande Americano stepping in lieu of Chad Gable not being able to go right now. So he was with the Creed brothers, and they defeated LWO. But that was a phenomenal match.
Now it was that match that he first used the metal in, right, in his forehead.
Allegedly, and yes.
Fucking allegedly.
Allegedly. All right, don't slander that man's name. Um, but yes, that would have been the first week if that were the case, that would have been the first week that happened.
Yeah,
Yes.
we definitely don't know for sure, but
No, it's all circumstantial at this point. It's not like there's video evidence. So after
no.
that, after that, we had the Jey Uso Gunther kind of standoff, which was a little weird for me, and I'm sure we'll talk more about those guys as we go along. But I just thought it was kind of weird the way Gunther stood there. It was just a weird.
Yeah, Cassie even
weird.
said like he looks like remorseful, like he feels bad that he did it.
Yeah, and that's not the look I'm looking for. So
No.
Yeah.
But I feel like if he would have done anything else, Jay would have had to swing on him, and they're really trying to keep these two non-contact until Mania.
Yeah, which is amazing. Honestly, it's amazing that they're able to do that. So, and keep it interesting. Which again, I know as we get into the pre-show, we'll talk more about build-ups and things like that and how we feel about going into it.
Yeah.
But I will say this is like a low-key build-up that I didn't like at first. That I'm starting to kind of get behind because I'm starting to not know what's going to happen, honestly. So it's becoming more of a toss-up to me.
We've been behind it since day one, but that's because Cassie and my daughter both love Jey Uso to death. So
right. Well, and you remember a couple months ago, I said Jay for sure. Like they can't do anything. They can't do anything else, and now I'm not sure. So I'm just not sure. I don't know. But anyway, we had the New Day beating the War Raiders by disqualification. I'm a little frustrated that this is the tag team title match we're getting on at WrestleMania, but you know,
is that the one that we're getting at Mania?
Yeah, it's these two. Yeah, yeah, they're doing the SmackDown one next week.
Friday. You're
like
right.
This Friday. Yeah, this Friday. And I thought they had opportunities there. And I think maybe the show got too big. You know, maybe it just got to be too big of a show and they couldn't do something like that. Or maybe they're saving that build up again for something that's maybe a lesser show where they could really, maybe bring some people in for something like that. But I thought this would have been perfect for like a TLC style match.
Yeah, I know we were both pushing for a TLC match for that. One thing that I will say is, in my opinion, it's the wrong tag team title match to be at Mania, but I think it's based on because it's New Day.
Yeah, well, and I don't like to think that the WWE listens to this stuff, but you got a lot of like the universe who are like, oh, there's no black guys on the card.
Oh yeah, I got that written down in the notes.
Yeah, so we'll talk about it a little bit more, and I'd like to think that that's not what's going through their head because that would really kind of irritate me. Piss me off. But
and when we get
disrespectful.
Yeah.
And
when we get to it, I do want to know, like, do you see it that way?
We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it because I've thought about it a lot more recently. So we'll move on and we'll talk about that in a little bit. So next we had Penta defeating Dominic Mysterio, and I really enjoyed it. But I wish they'd let Dom go a little bit more. Like let him really do his thing. So
I know. I don't know. I think he's gonna win the IC belt at Mania. I think that's his
Dominic?
big final. Yeah.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. I think Finn is almost gonna win, and that's when Dom finally turns on Finn, and Dom's gonna win the IC title. He's lost and lost. Now it's the big.
You're giving away your gold, man. Don't give away your gold yet. We got a show for this. That's good though. That is. I wouldn't have considered it. That's good. We're gonna move on.
That's how I would do it.
Yeah, that's good. And then that was about it. And then we ended the show with Seth and
Heyman and Punk.
yeah, and then Punk coming out, and then the stomp, and then the no stomp, and you owe me now, and
Yeah.
um, which I'm sure we'll talk more about again during the build up, so I won't harp on it now. But interesting. I'm more tied into this match again now too. I'm more tied into it. They're doing a good job as the weeks are getting closer of punishing me for not being patient.
Yeah,
So.
and it's weird because I'm not even that big of a CM Punk fan, but I'm really backing him in this one.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh,
So SmackDown started with that Nick Aldis Randy Orton segment, and RKO had just straight up told Aldis the last time I RKO'd you, I paid double for my fine. So if you ask me, this is a freebie, and you don't have the right to be angry. Aldis was
beautiful.
standing there the whole time like he was ready to pounce on Orton.
Yep.
I think did you call it last week when you were like, I think Aldis is gonna. I think it's gonna be
We
Aldis.
talked about it. It wasn't. If I said it, it wasn't my original thought. I read that somewhere. But yeah.
Maybe it might have been Cassie then. I don't know. Somebody told me, and I was like, no, no, and now I'm like, fuck, I think it is.
It would be really interesting. So the way they're setting it up, it seems like it. So.
Yeah. And then, of course, the segment gets interrupted by the greatest interrupters of, I don't know, all time, the Bloodline. And Solo and Tama Tonga come out, basically tell Orton he's pathetic. You don't have a Mania match. Quit being a crybaby. Orton gets pissed and he's like, telling him, well, come on. I'm in the mood to kick some ass and there's two of you. Well, they get in and Orton does take over a little bit, but then Bloodline takes Orton over.
As always. Yeah.
And what surprised me, LA Knight comes out with the save because that whole promo, I was like, this is heel Orton. This is not face Orton.
Yeah. I agree. I was, of course, I called Braun. I was like, Braun, go get him. But, but yeah, when LA Knight came out, I thought that was a little weird too. It's also one of those things where it again feels like, why are you getting involved in this? Like, you got bigger things to worry about, don't you?
Yeah, I'd be far more worried about Jacob Fatu than rescuing Randy Orton from two people that aren't in your match
that aren't Jacob Fatu. Right?
Exactly.
You got something to deal with, my guy. Like, so.
LA helps, saves Orton, and then they basically ask all this right in front of everybody. Them two against us two. I believe it was the main event, right? Yeah, main event. Yep. And Aldis just says, yeah, whatever. Then we get to the first match, which was extremely long and extremely good. The women's tag team gauntlet match. Lyra Valkyria and Bayley went on a run.
Yeah, first it did not end the way I thought it would.
No, and I did not foresee those two teaming together, especially after that little interaction they had after the match where Bayley walks away and then finally comes back and shakes the hand and everything. To come back and be a tag team threw me off.
Yeah.
So their first match was against Zoe Stark and Shayna Baszler. They run through them, which actually it was good.
It was good. Yeah, but I expected that.
This one threw me off. Maxine Dupree and Natalia, and didn't last long at all because Maxine Dupree doesn't know what the hell she's doing. Kayfabe, but
yeah, right. But that's a squash. So that's how these gauntlets play, right? So the first one is like a good starter, then you get your squash, then normally you get the ones that are next that kind of whoop you up a little bit.
Oh my god. I will say it again. My favorite female tag team in the WWE, Kayden Carter and Katana Chance.
Yep.
They just show up.
I knew they weren't going to win. I knew they weren't going over, but I thought, like, hey, give them a good showing, and they did. They gave them a good showing. So, and they beat up on Bayley and Lyra. So that's right on par for normally the fourth team to beat them. Normally the fourth team takes them out. But.
Yeah, and after that we had B-Fab and Michin, which I was like, I mean, I get that they're like BFFs in the locker room and on the screen or whatever, but I don't even think they've ever tagged before. Granted,
no, but I was with it. I was with that, but I knew
it just threw me off.
I was weirded out.
Yeah. But then they
Then I was
beat...
like, well, they're not going to win.
No, definitely not. And they didn't last long either. And then the real showdown. Piper Niven and Alba Fire down to Lyra Valkyria and Bayley. And besides that one point where Piper couldn't get over the top rope,
Yeah.
the only botch I really saw in this whole gauntlet match. Corrected it fast. The match was good, and I honestly thought that they were going to go over on Lyra and Bayley, but they didn't.
I was hoping because and we'll have to get into this more later because it's going to be a WrestleMania match. That it doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make any sense to me that these two are going against Liv and Raquel at this time. For what reason? Like it would have made much better sense to see Caden Carter and Carter and Chance, and then or even if you wanted to throw the last two Alba Fire and or Piper Niven in there, that would have been awesome. Because then you got a bruiser and a bruiser versus the little shifty one and the shifty one. So and Alba Fire and Piper Niven they can go. So
they can
that would have been a really great match. Not to say Bayley and Lyra can't; they can definitely go, but it just doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, I think the only part that really chaps my ass is the fact that they're not a tag team. They were thrown together, and I feel like they were thrown together for the reason to make sure that Lyra and Bayley had a match at Mania. Not that they had anything specific planned for the tag division, but just to kind of kill two birds with one stone and make sure they both had a match at Mania.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I mean, it probably wasn't going to be the go away match of the year anyway. No matter who was in it, it would have been good. I think it would have been better with Alba Fire and Piper Niven, but we weren't. That wasn't going to be the main attraction anyway. So fine, okay, they can have it.
So next we had the Drew McIntyre, Damian Priest segment where Drew said Damian has benefited every time Drew's been screwed over, and Drew agreed to a Sin City street fight and says the only reason Damian agreed is because Drew only has one eye, but surprise, takes it off and says, I'm 100%. Damian comes out and get his ass rocked. His head got bounced off that barricade so many times.
Oh my goodness.
Then they take Damian away. Then Damian comes back and they start fighting over by the steps. And Drew gets his head busted open again. Same spot that Punk tore him open with that toolbox. But Drew goes over by hitting that future shock on the steps. And I don't know if you saw Damian's eyes afterwards when he looked La La Land.
It was incredible. If that wasn't for real, it's really good acting because he looked knocked. I don't normally get excited about these style matches at WrestleMania, but this one I kind of am because these guys go nuts. So I mean, I'm pretty. Normally, it's kind of a throwaway match at Mania when they do like the street fights or the brawls, but I think this one will be okay.
This one's gonna be good, and I feel like this one means something.
It does. It definitely does feel personal. So,
next we had Rey Fenix versus Berto. I did not have high hopes for this match, just because I've personally never seen Berto wrestle a singles match.
Yeah, well, I remember him back before they got together as the tag team, and him and his cousin were fighting against each other all the time. But I was just excited about it because I thought this was a chance for Rey Fenix to really get to go to show how good he is because Berto does wrestle a similar style. He comes from a similar background.
Super hard hitting, and no botches for how fast they were going.
They were moving, man. They were moving. It was impressive.
But just to to make sure that Rey Fenix keeps the what's the word I want to use here? The fire going that's on him, his little streak going. He does go over on Berto with the Mexican Muscle Buster. Backstage,
love that movie.
Even before the backstage part, Santos comes in the ring and praises Phoenix and then makes Berto shake his hand, which was the quickest handshake I've ever seen in my life.
It was just a weird segment.
It was.
This whole thing. The whole thing you're about to talk about was weird.
Yeah, and then backstage he's talking about, oh, didn't you say that you were going to do this? And didn't you say you were going to do that? What happened? I'm going to go talk to Ray Phoenix, which basically I think he's going to try and bring Ray in. It's not going to work, just like how the Judgment Day tried to bring in Penta. It's not going to work.
Right.
But then Andrade comes up and tells Berto that he should be proud of himself. He did a good job. And Berto just shrugs him right off, disrespects him even. Which
they were together way back when. So, like,
were they
I'm
a
pretty
team?
sure I'm pretty sure it was Andrade and the Garzas were a team first, I think.
Oh, shit.
And because Legado Fantasma was I don't remember. Maybe I'm screwing this up, but
Yeah, I think it's always been Santos.
Santos was always with Legado.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, no, that makes sense. Even back in NXT, it was Santos. Yeah,
I could almost see Andrade trying to start maybe his own faction because he keeps kind of pussyfooting around over there trying to pull them away from Santos.
Yeah, that would be interesting. We'll see what happens with that. Yeah,
they would turn face.
Yeah. I just, are you trading in, one for another? Is it going to be the same situation for you? Because if it is, why do it? If it's just going to be, a slow mid card death like they're in right now, which now they're moving, they're putting them on TV a lot more. They're definitely showing what they can do. So hopefully that's a good sign for them. But I mean, is is Andrade going to elevate him any further than where they are now? I don't know.
I think the only benefit would be is that you could organically make a story for them turning face, joining Andrade, which being faces, they'll probably get more wins.
Yeah, okay. And then hopefully maybe it just seems like whether it's Santos or it's Andrade, it's the same thing. Like you're getting the same idea from both of them. So,
I don't think they would go much farther than they are right now, but they would definitely get a lot more wins.
Well, hopefully, I hope they get some TV time because they're a good team. He's a good wrestler, Andrade, and it's a good wrestler, so I'd like to see more.
I agree. This next match, Chelsea Green and Zelina Vega, I just have botch written next to it.
Yeah, that was rough.
From what I had read, Zelina Vega was supposed to win this match. Chelsea Green's outside of the ring, and we're like 2 minutes in to this match. She gets counted out while she's yelling at the commentary booth and the crowd.
Yeah, and WWE is so I don't know if you talk about this in your news at all, but Busted Open the other day, they really were getting after AEW about their referees and how the refs just don't follow the rules, and you got to follow the rules. So I almost think that sometimes when that stuff happens, WWE will purposefully do something like this, but I guess it wasn't on purpose. But no. I do know that WWE's strict about that. Like if you're out there, they're gonna count you out because that's what it is. So
well, shit. Even in the early 2010s, refs were given a bonus if they counted a 3 count on somebody that was supposed to kick out and didn't kick out.
Oh, wow.
I don't believe they get that bonus anymore, but they're still told to do their job.
You get those fast counts.
Yeah.
I'd be like, give me that bonus. Like, 1, 2, 3. You should have got out, bud. But that sucks. I mean, if that's true, you know how I feel about Zelina. And I was pretty pissed off when I saw what happened. I was like, in my head, I was like, that's cheap. Don't give her a win like that and not let her have the title in that sense. Unless you're going to give her another shot at like WrestleMania or one of the shows leading up.
I think it'll be after. I think it'll be after,
But Backlash, maybe they'll let this story take hold for a while and then they'll let it organically build up to a thing because Zelina's got a huge online army and Chelsea Green has a huge online army. So maybe they'll let it build up and they'll just make it a thing at Backlash. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, I just hope that she gets a win. I hope. As much as I don't want Chelsea to lose the belt, if she lost it to Zelina, that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, I agree. I don't necessarily want her to lose the belt, but I also don't believe she needs the belt, except for her whole gimmick is around her having this belt. So I I don't know what they would do after that, but
I don't
um,
think they would drop the gimmick.
yeah, I mean, maybe not, but it kind of you're not the U.S. champion anymore. That's kind of where it all
He would,
started. But
Chelsea and that writing team are so smart. They would probably turn it into something where, like, you know how once a president, always a president. Like if you see George
yep,
Bush, it's
yep,
President George Bush. She would still
yeah,
call herself
that's
president.
fair. Yeah, that's fair. That could definitely work for a while. But yeah,
Or they haven't thought of that yet, and maybe one of our
now
keyboard warriors will just, hey,
well,
Brian James, did you
maybe
hear about this one? Boop, boop,
maybe they'll cut you a check.
boop. Fuck, dude. I need money.
Hey, listen, we can talk about it.
Ready?
Yep.
So, the Cody segment, with all the past belts in the ring, says Seattle isn't on Cena's farewell tour, just, cheap jabs. Cody brings up Cena saying Cody's tattoo makes him a common fan, and Cody says, so what? And he talks about having the tattoo not because he thinks he's somebody, but because he wants to be somebody. And says that at the end of Mania, after Cody wins, he'll give Cena the ring to say goodbye. So, some more jabs, but this thing's already built up all the way. We're done. We're done with the build-up.
Yeah.
We're ready
Yeah.
for it.
Well, and they know it's over. We'll see what happens on Friday, but they know that they don't have anything else to build.
No.
So,
This next part here. The next match was Tiffany Stratton versus Roxanne Perez, and at one point of this match that was really good, the screen kind of cut out on us, and right away I looked at Cassie and went, her boob fell out. I definitely know her boob fell out, and that's what happened.
Is that what happened? I was gonna say because
Yeah.
I thought they changed her whole outfit because of that. Because it's not the first time.
That's what I heard. This was the second time it's happened.
Yeah, not the first time.
It was a good match. Both women showed out, and Roxanne definitely got to show why she deserves to be on the main roster. I saw a couple moves that I've, that spot where she does the backwards bridge, ducking the lariat and everything. I loved it.
Yeah, that was crazy. Just crazy.
She's not the first one I've seen do it, but it looked clean.
Yeah, she's
Wasn't
just really
slowed
good.
down.
Yeah.
Stratton does win with the perfect moonsault. After the match, Charlotte attacks, wearing the weirdest clothes I've ever seen a woman wear, and beats down Tiffany bad to the point where Wade Barrett stops Charlotte and says, "I'm protecting you," to Charlotte, which the heat that these guys have that I'll get into with the news and rumors is real.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Mm-hmm.
the last match, Orton and LA Knight versus Solo and Tama Tonga. Just another bloodline match, really. Randy get beat down for a little bit and then finally gets the tag, and LA Knight's in. And then Randy's off fighting Solo through the crowd. LA Knight hits the BFT on Tonga, and then after the match, Jacob Fatu comes in and hits him with 2 moonsaults, picks up the belt, throws it down. SmackDown goes off the air. We all knew what was going to happen. Fatu was coming out.
Yeah, I don't really like the match at Mania. We'll see what happens. It just somebody's role is gonna get stopped there, and I don't really think it's necessary. So I don't think Jacob Fatu needs to be in this match at all.
I don't think Jacob Fatu loses clean if he loses. I think it's a count out or it's something.
Yeah, a DQ or something. He cannot lose clean. There's no way. And you can't. LA can't lose either. It just and Jacob Fatu does not need a belt. He doesn't need a belt.
No,
just
he doesn't.
let him wreck shit and just move on. Maybe eventually when the top clears out a little bit, but we'll talk about it. Yeah.
All right. News and rumors. Money in the Bank is set for early June and is most likely going to be at the Intuit Dome in LA. So, kind of a big deal that what is it? Intuit Dome thing. That's like the big fancy one with the screen that's on the outside too, right?
Yeah.
That's that one.
No, that's the one that's on the outside that's the Sphere in Vegas.
Are you sure the Intuit Dome doesn't have that too?
Oh no, I'm not sure, but I have no
I
clue if
might
they
be
have it or not.
wrong. I might be wrong.
Yeah,
I don't.
I just know the Sphere in Vegas has like that whole crazy thing on the outside. I wouldn't be surprised if Intuit Dome because that was built
There's
last year too,
something.
wasn't it?
Maybe the Intuit Dome is the one where it's inside the whole. All the walls are screens.
No, I think that's correct. That
Yeah,
sounds right. Yeah,
because there
because
was
they
something
that's
like big deal about it.
yeah that's where like the Rams play, right, and stuff like that.
I have no idea.
Yeah, if that's where the Rams play, then yeah, I think that's how that went down. I
Okay.
don't. That's billionaire toys, man.
Um.
That's not my game.
All right. Let's see. WrestleVotes says that Kamala will not be inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame this year, as previously talked about. But WWE is still in talks with the family and in good standing relationship, even strong. They put here for it happening in the soon future, or in the next year or
Well,
two. So Kamala will be inducted into the Hall of Fame, just not this year.
yeah. WWE is good about this stuff. I don't really have a problem with it. They put people in that don't really have any business being in there, so they definitely put the people that do. So
Yeah. Um, you're gonna like this one.
yeah,
Fightful says Tony Hinchcliffe's appearance on Raw was a total dud, and even the backstage of WWE was completely underwhelmed. How did
yeah.
you feel about Tony Hinchcliffe joining the booth for a match?
It was exactly what I thought it was. It wasn't good. It wasn't funny. That's not his thing. So I mean, it just
Yeah,
my expectations for him weren't high there, like at
and
all. Like,
the Big E joke too about his neck.
well,
A
that pissed me off.
lot of
But
people got pissed.
yeah,
Everybody but Big E
but
apparently got pissed about that.
well, it pissed me off because it's Big E. But at the same time, it doesn't piss me off because I'm not surprised. Like that's
No,
what Tony Hinchcliffe does. So
that's what. Yeah,
it
exactly.
doesn't. Yeah, it's not. That's what you invited. That's what you brought onto your show. So.
And I'm not gonna lie, this is off topic of wrestling, but it's on topic of Tony Hinchcliffe. I over the weekend I did watch his first Netflix episode of Kill Tony. Sucked.
Yeah.
Wasn't good.
Well, that's because now it's produced. Now it's this. It's not him anymore. I'm sure.
It just
And
didn't
that's
have
what
the right.
happens.
Just didn't have the right names get called up out of the hat, in my opinion.
Okay. So not the production didn't suck. It
No,
was
because
just
everything
those
seemed pretty
people.
much the same. It's just
Oh, okay.
it's kind of a
I didn't
dud for
watch it,
your
so
premiere.
yeah. I could see something like that going to Netflix and then truly sucking because to me it's what happened to This Isn't Happening when it went like to when they made it big and they started like adding more people to it and things like that. When it was just Ari, it was phenomenal. But
Ari
then
got
it
kicked off his
became
own show. That's what
well, that's what I
happened.
mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, once he was gone, it became a different
Shit.
show, and that's they sold it out,
Yeah.
and so that's the same thing. So I could see where Tony Hinchcliffe selling out his show would start to suck, but
Yeah.
who knows?
At least the first episode I watched, there was funny parts, but it just
Yeah,
didn't tickle my berries like it does on YouTube.
yeah. I didn't watch it.
I've never said tickle my berries before either, but
That's first for everything. But yeah, I do need to
Kelly
watch that
Kelly
show.
has officially signed a Legends deal with WWE.
Get
So
paid.
we might possibly see her get reintroduced back into the video game next year. An
Yep.
interview with Bill Apter, Lex Luger says he still doesn't know if Sting will be allowed to induct him into the WWE Hall of Fame, but he wants him to do it alongside DDP. And if you don't know, Sting was a large part of Lex Luger's career in WCW, and so was DDP. But most importantly, what I think is the biggest deal is that DDP's got Lex standing up on his own and stuff again.
Yeah, and he's doing a lot to help him stay clean and stay good. So DDP, I think, was his adversary, his best adversary outside the ring, where Sting was inside the ring. So I think people need to get over themselves and just let this happen. So
Yeah,
that's stupid to me. This is
yeah, I
stupid.
agree.
Yeah,
Again, this isn't politics; it's professional wrestling.
yeah. You don't have to pay the guy; just have him come on and do this. So I mean,
Yeah.
there's no reason for it to be a big deal.
Let me see where we're at. Okay, so Do I want to get into this yet? Hold on. Okay, all right. I'll skip that and go to this one. In an interview with Ariel Helwani, Gunther confirmed that he has signed a new deal with WWE at the end of last year, and he also said he got a tour bus in the deal, saying, "I asked for that. What you don't ask for, you don't get." So not only did he get a multi-year deal, which I believe it was a 3-year deal, but he got a free tour bus thrown in. So we're gonna have Gunther around for a lot longer, which I'm for.
Yeah, this is WWE. They ain't shit free. So I mean, he's gonna earn that tour bus one way or another. But
Oh God, yeah, he's already he's already earned it.
Yeah, well deserved if they paid that man. They need to.
So I'm gonna say this one exactly how I have it written down.
All right, I'm interested.
All right, baby Jesus God Dave Meltzer said ex-WWE and TNA's Josh Matthews was working backstage at AEW Dynasty. Matthews' wife, Madison Rayne, has worked with AEW for several years now. You don't remember Josh Matthews, do you?
I don't. No.
No. He was backstage interviewer, WWE, 2010s.
Oh, definitely not.
Short, nerdy looking.
No, now that you say it, yeah. But I've seen him. I've seen the name and I've seen him before, but I didn't watch it then. But I think I've heard that name Kelsey Rayne before too. So
I don't know. I just wanted to call Dave Meltzer baby Jesus God, so I took the story down.
Yeah, that was my highlight. I didn't care about the rest.
Let's see. Stephanie McMahon will be starting a new podcast called What's Your Story with Stephanie McMahon, and it's alleged that WWE will be pushing the podcast hard. We are not going to make it anymore.
No, listen. Can you tell me any more clearly that you hate your father than what Stephanie McMahon is doing right now? Like, this woman left the company because of him, and as soon as he's gone, she's like, all right, cool, what do you need? TV show? Got you. Podcast? Got you. You need me on screen? Got you. Like,
dude, the show has been great. Stephanie's Places?
Yeah.
Dude,
she's
the
great.
CM Punk
Stephanie
episode?
is phenomenal.
Great.
Yeah. Yeah, Stephanie's phenomenal. It's just, tell me you hate your father harder.
Oh.
Like, this is crazy. Like, she is all in right now. It's nuts.
It was just refreshing to see her not in a character. She seems so genuine. Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying, if CM Punk likes you, you're definitely not a piece of shit.
Well, Stephanie's the McMahon, so being genuine might be the character. So I don't, you know, that McMahon blood runs deep. So,
all right. WWE is still planning on Orton having a match at WrestleMania 41. They just don't know who it's going to be allegedly yet, or they're saying they're still discussing it, but by now I'm sure they have it figured out.
Yeah.
Allegedly, WWE is considering the street. This is old news. We already know this. Okay. Sean Ross Sapp said, we're going to go to AEW here. John Moxley has no creative control in AEW, and Tony Khan is very much in the weeds of AEW's creative direction, and is the only person with final say on everything, including the controversial ending of Dynasty's main event. One reason why Mox's AEW championship reign has lasted this long, despite frequent online criticisms, is because Tony Khan is pleased with the numbers he's been pulling.
Yeah, listen. All right, so I've been traveling a lot lately, so I'm becoming quite the AEW connoisseur because I've been in the hotels on Wednesday, so I've been watching it. But hey, they said Tony Khan has final say. I'm sure that Mox, Tony gives Mox a little bit of latitude in his reign. I will say I do respect if this pays off, if they've got a big payoff for this and they've got something planned. I do respect that they're sticking to their guns and they're not letting people sway them. But if they don't, if this is a dud, it could kill your company because now people are telling you. So
I'm telling you, Swerve should have won.
Yeah, I mean, I saw the match and I agree, but we'll see. Again, I if it pays off, if whatever they're doing pays off, then you're a genius, Tony Khan. But if it doesn't, it could sink you because a lot of people are pretty upset with this. So, rational or irrational, they're upset. So,
I mean, Tony Khan is definitely smart in some aspects, but I mean, a guy that can let one of the greatest superstars of all time and CM Punk, the greatest tag team of lucha style of all time with Penta and Rey Fenix, as well as Brian Pillman Jr., Sean Spears, uh, Ricky Starks, and then
I don't know, WWE champion Cody Rhodes.
Cody Rhodes.
Yeah, I mean,
How do you this? Come on, he let all of those slip through his fingers, all because that company is full of counterfeit bucks. It's a CM Punk line, and you know, a stupid, empty-headed fucking Hangman Page. But that's besides anything, you know.
Hey, I mean, you have to live with what you create, you know, and it's the same thing, same thing about raising kids, man. You let them kids do something for long enough, and now you got to live with it, because you did it, you let it happen. So you can't blame anybody but yourself.
No,
you let it happen.
I should have never shown Cece what a cup of soup is, because constantly I'm getting farts tossed in my face.
There are. I have yet to have a drink anywhere in this house that isn't alcohol induced, because I keep those on, that doesn't have toddler slobber on it, because I let her drink from my cup all the time. So now she just and just goes for it. She doesn't even ask. So we live with the monsters we create, Tony Khan. You created it, now you gotta live with it. So
all right, we're gonna get into two of the bigger stories I have. It's multiple pages, but it's only because I wrote it in different chunks. We'll do this one first. An interview with TV's insider Sarea, aka Paige, is hoping to start training at Natalia's school while she gets ready for an in-ring return, and says she's hoping to do a Royal Rumble or Elimination Chamber or anything she didn't do in the past. Mind you, I'm not done yet. I gotta turn a page and get to the next part. Sarea says she has not spoken to WWE since leaving AEW. There's a good burp. And it is rumored that Sarea Paige has a good shot at making a WWE return at Evolution 2 in July, which is the all-women pay-per-view. But yeah, there is no communication between the two groups, allegedly. But if there's no communication, I don't know why she's going on interviews talking about Royal Rumbles and Elimination Chambers. And that's all WWE stuff.
I heard she's still under contract. Like, I don't think she's done. Is she done? Okay, I thought I saw that she was still under contract.
No, she's gone.
Okay, well that's good.
I reported that on here, dude.
Oh, maybe I thought after that I read that she was gone. She's saying she's gone. Her managers are saying she's gone, but she's still on the website and everything.
Oh,
last I heard. I mean, I can look it up real quick, but yeah, that was that she hasn't, like, AEW said she's not like gone. Like hold on, I'm gonna find it.
This is the last time I'm going to take chunks of information and put them on different pages, because this is a pain in the ass.
Yeah. Hold on, we're just going to go right to their roster. That'll tell me everything I need to know, right?
All right.
Yeah, you go ahead and keep going. We're going to go right to this roster. I'll report back.
All right. Well, let me kill this beer first.
Okay, well, that'll give me time, because I'm in the women's now. Yeah, she's still on there.
What the fuck?
She is right there. On the AEW's website. Right between Ruby Soho and Serena Deeb.
I will throw this out there. AEW does work with independent talent. Indie workers and everything else. So maybe she's on the website and everything's still. Fuck, Brock Lesnar's still on the WWE website and he doesn't even have a contract.
Well, I heard, now see, with him, I just found out listening to Busted Open. I'm trying to catch up to you with this new stuff. But I heard they froze his contract. Just like when you get hurt.
Really?
So that was the thing that they were saying on Busted Open is that they froze his contract. So my main man Dave LaGreca, the only Dave that matters, um, he was talking about his idea, and we'll talk. I was going to plan on bringing this up pre-show, but
Yeah.
his idea was that Heyman maybe putting together like some kind of crazy like group, and it would be all of the Heyman guys, and so like, and Brock would come back to beat down, or do whatever. I don't know, but he was thinking Brock was coming back. So, and either
A
him or
lot of
Bully was
people,
saying,
and I didn't
yeah,
write anything down because there's nothing concrete enough for me to write down. When I bring these news and
right.
rumors up on this show, I fact check. Now, and if it
I
is a
just talk
rumor,
shit.
I
So,
add allegedly.
yeah,
But allegedly, I didn't hear anything about the contract freezing, but I did
yeah,
hear that after Mania, apparently Triple H has tossed the ball into Brock's court and said, whenever you're ready.
yeah.
Whenever you're
Let's do
ready.
this.
You're 47 right now, turning 48 this year. Whenever you're ready, we want you back. And Lesnar was
Okay.
the one saying for the longest time he didn't want to, but with how red hot
Yeah.
WWE has gotten since Vince is gone,
Well,
allegedly, Lesnar has said that he wants to come back on a 2-year deal to
well,
finish out his career.
yeah.
So there's
Well,
nothing
then,
concrete there. That's why I didn't
but,
report on it, but there is shit being
but
said a
yeah.
lot.
But like a week ago, he said he was retired. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like he
yep,
was
he
like,
did.
"Yeah, my in-ring career is done." So, and unlike Tyler, I just read stuff and I'm like, "That's probably true." So I'm gonna tell everybody about it. I'm that guy. So, the difference is I will then come back next week and be like, "I didn't say that shit. What are you guys talking about?" So,
Dude,
I don't know anything either.
I'm like Hulk Hogan. I live the gimmick. All right.
And I'm like Hulk Hogan. I'm full of shit. So,
Oh
look at that.
Jesus! All
We're gonna
right.
change our name. We're gonna make those other guys happy. We're gonna change our name to the Hogan Boys. Live the gimmick and full of shit.
Live the gimmick and full of shit. That's a shirt.
Yeah, it is a shirt
Just don't
actually.
put Hulk
That's
on it. Just put Hogan. The Hogan Boys.
Hogan and the
Yeah.
Hogan Boys, and that's a shirt that only you and I can have. And I will get it to you when I get those other ones done, and we'll
Yes.
wear we'll unveil those together. Sorry, go ahead.
All right. All right. Charlotte Flair is receiving most of the blame for the messy off-script promo with Tiffany Stratton.
It's
Dave
her
Santa
fault.
Jesus God Meltzer, in his infinite wisdom, says they are both getting blamed for it. He went on to say there has been problems between the two for about 2 weeks now, and people knew about this. But not one, but both women went off the rails during that segment. Let's flip to the
Yeah,
next one. And
this frustrates me.
let's see. Fightful's Sean Ross Sapp was asked. Oh, no, that's not it yet. Here we go. WrestleVotes heard that Tiffany Stratton was warned ahead of time that Charlotte might go off script in their promo battle, and that's why Tiffany was ready to fire back. The original script was for Flair to take a shot at Tiffany for needing to use Money in the Bank to win her championship. While Stratton was supposed to say, "How can you claim to be the queen of a kingdom that you're hardly ever at?" The script did not include anything about Flair's divorces, Tiffany's squeaky voice, or Ludwig Kaiser. The WWE locker room is said to be split in terms of deciding which wrestler took things too far, and it's also been said that Charlotte Flair has been avoiding everyone and the locker room since the segment. Boom.
Yeah, listen, this whole thing frustrates me because there are a lot of people out there that don't like each other, and they can work just fine. You know, the problem is Charlotte. I have an issue with Charlotte in this scenario because first of all, you're the vet. You're the one that's supposed to be the one setting the example. Now, I don't mind that Charlotte is trying to get under the skin of Tiffany. Like I like to see that. John Cena did it. Randy Orton does it. CM Punk does it. Drew McIntyre. They all do it, and that's part of getting your chops. What I do have a problem with is just the way that she just doesn't, you know, take accountability for what's happening here, because this is she's trying to be a bully. It didn't work. The crowd was not on
No.
her side in this scenario. She's upset that she can't get over as a babyface, and she's not willing to pivot. And so then she tries to bully Tiffany into this stuff, and Tiffany stood up the best she could. I don't think it was as good as it could have been, but the best she could stand up to her at that point. And now Charlotte's throwing a fit and being a big baby about it. I'm not a fan of the woman Charlotte Flair. Fine, she's good in the ring, but I'm just,
She's
yeah,
one of the
I don't
best.
get it.
One of the best of all
Yeah,
time in the ring. But yeah, her
yeah.
attitude has been shitty, and the fans have been letting her know because she's been getting that Logan Paul heat.
It seems nasty. It does not seem the same, and I know you say it all the time. The difference between Logan and Dominic, and I use Dominic as the mark. We said at a previous episode. I was a little frustrated with the booze, but I'm starting to understand them more. It's
Yeah.
like she's really starting to frustrate me. So, and I'm
Cassie
not a
too.
huge, like, I'm not a big Tiffany fan. It's not like I'm Team Tiffy time. I'm just like, why'd you have to do that? Like, you just run the script. If that was the script, it was shit. So I'm glad that they changed it. But go off script and then stand up to your shit. You went off
Yeah.
script. Now own it. So
But
yeah, whatever.
man, I can't wait to see how this unfolds some more, especially in their
Yeah,
match. Are we gonna be seeing some
yeah,
potatoes like we see with Punk and Seth and Drew, or what's gonna happen here?
yeah. I mean, Tiffy's still green, so I don't know if she's going to be confident enough to throw those hands like that. However, I do think we'll probably see Charlotte lay it in a little bit, and
You
there's
think
there's
she'll
going to
take
be.
liberties?
Oh yeah, I think
Yeah.
she's going to lay it in. Yeah, and I think she's going to get worse heat for it. Win or lose of this match, I don't think it's going to end well for Charlotte. So
No, and didn't I call it? They did the same shit with Charlotte that they did with Batista.
yep,
The
yep,
Rumble wins, everybody's pissed. Charlotte
yep, and it's the
returns,
same outcome.
Rumble wins, everybody hates it. What
Yep.
what do they say? That's the isn't that the definition of insanity? Is doing the
Yeah.
same thing over and over and expecting different results? It already hasn't
Yep.
fucking worked. Why are you doing it again?
Yeah. Unless this is the result they wanted, which is, whatever. But yeah.
It's not a good result.
No, no,
Um,
it's not.
so this is the one because I got to be honest, I haven't noticed. Okay, not that I'm not saying that this next part that we're going to talk about isn't true, and I'm not going to say
Yeah.
it's a lie or it's false or I don't notice it or well, I don't notice it, but like I
Yeah.
haven't noticed. I'd have to go back and rewatch, but on Fightful's Raw post show Monday night, not this last Monday, the Monday before, Sean
Mm.
Ross Sapp was asked if WWE has had an internal discussion about the lack of representation on the main roster, specifically regarding black men on PLEs. Sapp
Yeah.
said there were shortly after this issue was raised last fall, and they quickly tried to rectify it. But as for a concerted effort to feature more black male talent, he hasn't heard of any heavy discussions about it or anything like that.
Yeah. Um, I think that this just proves that wrestling fans live in a vacuum, right? Because uh, it's in the world that we're in right now. Like, how do you expect the WWE to care about representation? Like, nobody else cares about representation right now. It's not. It is not a. It's been clearly defined uh, in this country that representation and diversity and equity and inclusion is not what is the route that they're going to take. So I don't understand why people even have the expectation that that would be in the WWE also. That's on like a bigger scale, but on a smaller scale, like I I think the WWE does a decent job of representing all of their talent, and I think they do a really good job of putting the people out there that people want to see. And I look at NXT and I see that the last few champions in NXT have been black men, and I look at WWE and I see the tag team champions right now on one brand. Those guys are black, and the guys that are fighting for the tag team championships on the other brand are black, and there's there's other people who have different cultures and ethnicities and all that stuff that are throughout the card, and they can't all be champions. They can't all
No.
be on every card. It just isn't possible. And I get it that people can look at a card and they see this pattern over and over and over again. Well, that's also because that's how storylines work,
Yeah.
right? And
Yep.
so you'll see another pattern when this shift happens at the end of this cycle, right? So you got the WrestleMania, and then it resets, and you'll probably see something different, and you may see different champions. You may see people from NXT come up and get some of those mid card titles. I don't see the problem that other people see on the smaller scale, but I don't expect it to be any better than what people voted for on the larger scale. So, politics aside, this is just the reality we live in.
Yeah.
Diversity, equity, inclusion has not been prioritized in this country anymore. So, I don't expect it. So that's just set your expectations correctly, in my opinion.
So the
So
only two things I can add to it is
yeah,
what Triple H said about it when he was asked about it initially. Is he said
right,
that he doesn't see white or black or blue or red or male or female. He sees talent and storyline, which is exactly what you just said.
right,
And Booker
right.
T just this last week had brought up he was on almost every PLE and main evented a lot of them. And it's about
Right.
putting the work in and trying to force yourself into storylines and things like that.
And it's about the rotation, man. And like I said, Big E was champion,
Yeah.
like
Not
it'll
that
come
long
back
ago.
around. Yeah,
Not that long ago.
it'll come around. Kofi was champion not that long ago. I mean,
Yeah.
it's all it'll come around. It'll come. It's not. There was a run there where guys like Mark Henry and Booker T and The Rock and even Bobby Lashley and some of these other guys were
Yeah.
champs when even they probably shouldn't have been at the time. So just let this entertainment be entertainment. It doesn't always have to be that serious. There is a problem. There's a really big, huge problem in this country with diversity, equity, inclusion. This isn't the place to fight that fight. So
No.
if you really have a problem with it, go vote. That's all I
Yeah.
gotta say about that. So
Yeah. This
if you
is
got
this
that
is
big of an issue,
professional
go vote.
wrestling.
Yeah, this isn't the place. So
Yeah. All right. But I'm glad that I
go
got a
vote.
little insight because I don't know if you've noticed,
Yeah.
but I'm not black. So I didn't really notice.
Oh, you're not?
No, dude, I'm
Man,
sorry.
I've been putting black hosted show on all of the show notes. Now I
Maybe
gotta
that's
go
why
change
we
that.
haven't been getting as many views as I thought we should be. Because they
Oh
turn it on
no!
and see my fucking cracker ass
Ah,
on the fucking screen,
and
and
they're
they're
like,
like, mm-mm.
not even South Africa. All right. Uh, all right, let's move on. Speaking of, let's get to our heel runs.
Hold on,
If
I
you're done.
got
I don't know if you're
the.
done. Yeah, I
I
don't know
got
if you're
two
done.
more. Nick Aldis is the favorite to replace KO at WrestleMania 41 as Orton's opponent. Bet online
Yep.
with Aleister Black coming in second, Solo Sikoa third, and Ludwig Kaiser in fourth, which is a weird one for me.
That's
I've
interesting.
been doing the odds. I think I'm just going to keep throwing some of the odds
That's
at you
cool.
for pay-per-views.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I
then
like it.
Bet
I'm a gambler,
Online's
man.
latest odds for WrestleMania 41 indicate that there could be several championships changing hands. Cena, Belair, Jacob Fatu, Charlotte Flair, and Dirty Dom currently are all favored to win at WrestleMania.
Okay. Okay. We'll see.
We'll see. I don't bet, but I'm starting to kind of want to.
Oh, I do. It's a problem. It's a problem. I don't get to bet out, and I live in a state that you can bet online with your phone. It's a
As
problem.
far as I know, I think I can too.
Oh, I don't know.
Minnesota,
I don't know
right?
Minnesota. Yeah,
I don't know shit
probably.
either.
We
You
do.
think I
Yeah,
follow
we
the
do
law?
FanDuel.
Get out of here.
We do FanDuel. Let's get one of those sponsorships on the bottom that we
No
can't
shit.
post anywhere.
We just subscribed to that so we could watch Brewers games. It's great.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Not
All
that
right.
that's
You ready?
related at all. I am ready.
All right. So we're gonna do our top 5 heel runs and our bottom 5 heel runs. Right. So we'll keep it short and sweet. You want me to start?
I'll start.
You'll start. All right.
I'll start for favorites and you start for hated.
Perfect.
All right. My number 5 was Corporate Rock versus Stone Cold
Yeah.
Steve Austin. That was my favorite,
Okay.
my 5th favorite heel run. I thought it was great with McMahon and Rock and Big Boss Man and Shamrock and
Yeah.
all of it going towards Stone Cold. So that was a very entertaining heel run for me.
Yeah, I'm surprised I didn't put that down. I really do enjoy that one. My number five is Dominic Mysterio right now. Um,
Mhm.
I love Dominic Mysterio's heel run. I think he's getting the best heat anybody's gotten in such a long time. So it had to make my list.
All right. Number 4, Triple H and the Authority versus Daniel Bryan, and that's one I thought you would hate.
Yep, I
They
do.
had all of us, the Yes Movement, which I was a part of,
hmm
fed right in. Fed right
Yep.
in. Daniel Bryan had 2 WrestleMania 30 matches. Uh, there was Occupy Raw. Just they had me. They had me. So that for Triple H and his wife and uh, just I don't know everybody that was in the Authority at the time. B plus player,
I
everything, every one of those
yeah.
promos hit, and then for it to all pay off with Daniel Bryan going over not once but twice. Anybody
Yeah.
that was a part of the Yes Movement, we loved it. You hated that shit,
I
but I loved
I
it.
hated it. I didn't really watch back then. I am really upset. I do regret that I did get to see the Authority in real time. 'Cause I think I
Yeah,
would have really enjoyed it.
the
So
Authority was done by the time
uh,
we met.
yeah, I didn't see any of that in real time. Now I have. I've seen it since, but not
Yeah,
in
yeah.
real time. But my number four was Hulk Hogan and the NWO, but because of the NWO, because fuck Hulk Hogan. So.
Okay.
But
Um,
I just that NWO that as I'm wearing, I was a Wolfpack guy, but that NWO uh, run was amazing. So until it wasn't, you know.
shout out to Al. I'm not gonna say your last name, former cop and my good friend. We just talked about him being a Wolfpack guy on
Ooh,
Friday at work. So,
my
Al, if
man.
you're listening to this, I'm gonna fart in your water cup tomorrow.
Yep.
All
Conan's
right.
my favorite wrestler too.
So my number 3, Drew McIntyre versus CM Punk.
Yeah.
McIntyre was a perfect heel. I prayed for this.
hmm
The attacks, the fact that we had blood and swearing back, all due
Yeah.
to this freaking rivalry. And I thought Drew, as much as he pissed me off, I still love Drew. He is not
They
Seth
were the
Rollins.
perfect. Yeah, they were the perfect dance partners for each other at that time.
I agree.
Yeah, they needed that. My number three, a little bit of a longer period, but the early 2000s Triple H, like that 99 2000s, that cerebral assassin, diabolical, you know, sledgehammer wheeling psychopath that Triple H was. I love that man. That dude was awesome.
Is that before he even had Motorhead playing his
Yep.
music, right?
Yep. And it was before King of Kings and all that stuff. This was like right
This
when,
is the same dude
um,
that sang DX, sang his first song, I believe, his
right,
breakout,
yeah,
right?
he was, yes, yeah, those guys. Yeah, he was, this was long hair in the face, carrying the sledgehammer, doing the knee to the head all the time.
Yep.
Triple H. Yeah. Post DX, but pre
Post
all the
DX,
other stuff.
yeah. Well, Triple H,
Yeah.
his push was never gone.
No, no,
Unless his
no.
quads were gone, then his push was gone.
Yeah. Yeah, that dude's been pushed for 30 years.
All right. My number 2, CM Punk versus The Undertaker, build up to WrestleMania 29. Paul
hmm
Heyman coming out dressed as Paul Bearer. CM Punk dumping Paul Bearer's ashes all over Undertaker. The promos in the back. Punk, throwing. I know I picked Punk a lot, but I don't give a shit. He's the best.
Yeah.
Him throwing up the urn and stuff and then accidentally dropping it and
Yeah.
go, whoops. It was great.
Yeah.
And you get the payoff. The Undertaker beat Punk.
Yep. Yep.
And it was the best match
Uh,
on Mania 29. So it's just me.
uh, I mean, it was good. Oh 09, Randy Orton was my number two. Because that dude,
Was that him in the Cena run?
diabolical. Yes. That
Yeah.
was punt kicking, burning down houses, Randy Orton. Like, the dude was diabolical.
I believe 2009 is the year that Orton punt kicked CM Punk, and CM Punk was unable to compete in that six-pack challenge and lost his belt.
That is why he is number two on this list,
You
because he's a
son of a
hero. he
bitch.
is he is an American hero.
All right, now my number 1 is going to shock a few people. because it's not
Jake
WWE.
Paul? Logan Paul?
Oh my
Oh,
god.
no, I know who your number one. I know who your number one is. Yeah.
MJF versus CM Punk.
Yeah. Yep.
That was the greatest trilogy. That was the most captivating TV. It beat out everything, if you ask me, on WWE TV at the time. That was where eyeballs were.
We were spoiled because that was happening at the same time my number one was starting. I agree. I love MJF. I think first of all his intro music is my favorite intro music, um, and he's just legit. But my number one, Roman Reigns, baby. Put the ones in the air. And this is just the impact, right, man? The impact
Yeah.
on the industry that Roman had, the absolute amazing cinema, TV character work that he was doing, the way he was bringing everybody in and still making it interesting every week without being there every week. I think it will go down. We'll look back on it as one of the greatest. Same with Dominic. I think we will look back on these runs as some of the greatest heel runs of all time and some of the most the best work. So, but MJF is in that. This is just WWE that I was talking there, but MJF is in that category because that dude is amazing, and I would love to see him with a better steward.
I agree.
So,
And I do have a few honorable mentions, but I'll just name one.
yeah,
Daniel Bryan, when he was like the eco warrior building up to Kofi Mania. I thought Daniel Bryan built that perfectly, and I don't think there was anybody better for Kofi to take out at that time to win that belt, for it to mean that much.
yeah. Well, okay. uh,
If you do not, it's probably on your list.
my number five was my number five was 99 Sting. This is on my bottom list.
Okay.
Because Sting just didn't go over as a heel. Nobody booed him ever, and it just was a bad attempt. I didn't like it. Most of these are going to be bad attempts.
Yeah.
One of these is just a really crappy character, but bad attempts for most of these, in my opinion.
Okay.
So,
my number five, Alberto Del Rio versus Christian after Edge retired.
yeah,
I hated him. I always hated him.
yeah,
And then I found out he's like a shitty person in real life. So then now I feel justified for hating him.
yeah. And I don't think Christian was the right guy to work with him either. Christian wasn't as lovable at that time to be the guy working against Alberto Del Rio. So
Christian's a better heel than he is a face. Christian did get his first World Heavyweight Championship run out of this, but out of Edge being gone. But
yeah.
I fucking hate
my
Del
number.
Rio.
My number four is Stone Cold Steve Austin with Vince. And again, the reason I didn't like that was because I just didn't feel like it landed as a heel. He got booed, or it was more silence than booed. It was like they booed him being with Vince, not him. And so it just never felt like a heel run. It felt like Stone Cold being Stone Cold, but also with Vince McMahon.
Yeah, so. I will agree. I hated it when it was Stone Cold and Triple H, and then I loved it when it was Stone Cold and Kurt Angle, because it was just hilarity every week. But you're talking about the Stone Cold and Triple H part.
Yes.
Yeah, that was
like Stone Cold when he aligned with Vince. To win that title over The Rock.
WrestleMania 17. Yeah.
Yeah, that one. Yep.
My number four, Jinder Mahal as WWE champion versus Randy Orton.
Yeah, you could have just said Jinder Mahal.
We all know that Jinder Mahal got this title run because Vince was trying to break into the India scene and become more popular over there.
It definitely wasn't because of diversity, equity, inclusion.
It's
Vince McMahon. That definitely was not it. Jinder Mahal just was all around not the right guy for any of that. That's why I came back in. I came back into wrestling when Jinder Mahal was champion, and I was like, "What am I watching? I don't think I want to watch this anymore."
I am one of the rare people that enjoy the Punjabi prison match, though, and I'm glad that we did.
I didn't mind that. Yeah, I didn't mind that Punjabi prison match. But,
no, everybody hates those though. They all hate them.
Yeah, well, it's a weird thing too. It's hard to see. My number three was when Michael Cole was heel. It was just weird. It was stupid. It's another one where it's like the attempt just didn't matter. It didn't land. So
I still resent the fact that he got the win over Jerry Lawler at Jerry Lawler's only WrestleMania match.
right, right, yeah, and that was part of that heel. That was supposed to be the whole thing, and it just didn't. Yeah, it was gross and it was disrespectful to Jerry.
I
So
really
not
remember
that.
hating that laptop.
Yeah, yeah, that laptop's
The
stupid.
secret Raw general manager or whatever, the
Yeah,
anonymous Raw general. Yeah, I fucking
yeah,
hated those.
that was dumb.
All right, number 3 for me is Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns 2. That entire build-up. Roman's a face. He's
Yeah,
not good as a face.
nope.
Brock, we've already seen this. We know I'm not going to shit on him because he'll fucking rip my arms off and beat me with them, but
And
I
then eat
just
them.
wish that he would be more open to do more things in a match than suplexes and F5s. And
Yeah,
nobody wanted to see this match. The first one, yes, we all wanted to see it. We all saw Seth, come out with Money in the Bank and win his first WWE championship. It was great. That was all great. I was almost
hmm
upset because the match was going so well between Brock and Roman that happened, which is what was supposed to
right.
happen. This one, not shit.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, the way they were pushing both of them really at that time just got nauseating. It just got
Yep.
overdone.
Yep. I
So
agree.
my number two was Rikishi when he hit Stone Cold and he said he did it for the Rock, he did it for the people. It was just dumb. Like that was one of the worst payoffs I've ever had in my entire life, and it drove me mad. My young self was furious. I was like, that
Yep.
doesn't make any sense. So,
It still doesn't.
uh, no, it still
No.
doesn't. Rikishi though, that's number two.
We're going to take it back to AEW again with my number 2, Adam Cole being the devil.
Oh
Adam
yeah,
Cole,
man.
MJF. It was lackluster.
Yeah,
It was brainless booking, brainless
yeah,
storytelling. I didn't want to see Adam Cole be a heel. And
yeah,
if anybody's going to turn back to being a heel, it had to have been MJF, which obviously, if you're watching AEW TV now, yeah, he's heel. Because he's a heel. Adam
yeah,
Cole, I
yeah. I
didn't
think he's
like
good
it.
as a face, but yeah. I agree. I do remember that, and it was pretty poor. It's pretty
Yeah,
poor.
it was.
All right, my number one worst heel run of all time. Daniel Bryan and that stupid eco-friendly gimmick. I hated it. I watched wrestling for a very short amount of time during that time, and it was that amount of time, and it was him and Redbeard, and I was like, this is literally the dumbest thing I have ever seen in my entire life.
Wow. We have very different opinions on that run.
I really hated that, and this is true. Like this is just like beyond my normal trolling
You
of
were
Daniel
coming
Bryan.
over to my house for pay-per-views during this time, and I remember every time you're like, I fucking hate him. I hate
That's
him.
right. Okay, so yeah, it was during that. No, so I
Yep.
did come back. It was when I came back. Yeah, I hated it. It was so stupid. So stupid.
All right. My number 1. I'm going to take you all the way back. Sergeant Slaughter joins General Adnan as
Yeah.
an Iraqi sympathizer during the Gulf War versus Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, that was pretty dumb. He would have
You
done more if he was
never
allowed to.
change Sergeant Slaughter, Mr. G.I. Joe himself, heel.
You do when Hogan wants it.
Yeah, and now that we're done with our countdown, I'm going to do the figure of the week since I got some good buys this week.
Yeah.
Should I piss you off or should I not piss you off? Would you rather be mad or like happy?
I am perpetually mad, so it doesn't really matter.
All right.
Yeah.
I'll do two. I'll do a good one and a bad one. You're gonna be upset.
All right. Ah, that's disgusting.
So, little backstory on why I bought this. I have to buy it so I can get my Great Khali figure. This is the 1990 Royal Rumble winning match, Hulk Hogan. And I've decided recently that I am going to buy back all the guys that Mattel is making that I grew up watching. Anybody out there, has a Doink the Clown, please contact us because I will pay for it. But so far, I have Bret Hart, Diesel. I have Scott Hall, a.k.a. Razor Ramon, on the way in the mail right now. I have Hogan. I'm getting there. But so that's the one to make you mad. But the
Hey, can you hear me?
real figure of the week, and I will show that I am also wearing his pajama pants because I'm a professional.
Oh, hold on. Oh, never mind. Go ahead. I froze there for a minute.
Top picks. Stone Cold Steve Austin with the beer and the beer cooler. My sister actually ordered this from Fanatics, and it came looking like USPS used it as a soccer ball, like my last CM Punk figure. So pretty upset, and it made me feel good that I found this puppy in the wild, and I got to take a picture and say, "Hey, Tori, look what I got, mint in the box." So
sweet.
I'm a dick.
Well,
I'm an older brother. That's what we do.
Well, we gotta get those babies to sleep, so we gotta get going on this. We will be back this week. We got a couple more episodes coming out, so we're gonna cut this one off here, and we're gonna see you guys soon. We'll drop this. It should be out tomorrow probably, but I'll drop all the socials. You know, the link tree in there, so go ahead and get with us. But you'll see us again this week. So, got anything else?
I'm gonna go get drunk now.
Perfect.